don't know whether this will work, but I was trying to live stream while I was at Cheese and Rice. I was trying to live stream when I was at Morrison's, but it wouldn't let me. So it has Wi-Fi there, but it wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me live stream. It let me do everything else but that. So I did try, but oh well. I'm doing this live stream, but we're going to have a nice talk with my mum now, because we've been trying to get her prescription from the pharmacy for all the weekend. We've tried. Today's the last time, and my mum was so annoyed that she actually shouted at the pharmacy over the phone. So I've just been to collect it at last now, and my mum's going to be very, very furious about what I'm going to tell her, which is we're no longer allowed. They're no longer going to deal with our prescriptions anymore. So now we have to go like a million miles away to get the prescription now for my mum. So she will not be happy about this. She said we're going to change anyway because she didn't like their service. So we're going to change anyway, but we'll have to drive every time she needs her prescription. And it's a load of hassle, you know, every time. Did they ban her? Yeah, they've actually banned her now. They're allowing me to collect her monthly prescription from them. They don't do it at Asda or anywhere else, I don't think. They did a delivery service, but that's for the most vulnerable, disabled people that really can't get out of the house or whatever. We can't really get out that easily, but we can get out if we absolutely have to, so still not ideal. But they said I could come and collect the rest of the prescription for the month, but after that they said you have to go to we have to find a different. So I was really tempted to say, actually, way ahead of you, we're going to find a different one anyway, because you know your treatment was absolutely abysmal. Because they're saying my mum blamed them when they did everything they could or something, and it's not their fault. That's what they said, but it was their fault. They're saying it's the doctor's fault, but is it their fault? I'm gonna fall over. I'm really thirsty. I'm extremely thirsty. So my mum will. So I was wondering if you guys would like to see my mum's reaction to what I'm about to tell her. So we're gonna do it now. We're gonna tell her everything. I've got a recording as well of what they said. Pity I didn't record the pharmacy telling us. I only got the woman telling us. Because the pharmacy wouldn't come to the phone, so he was a coward. Yeah, you want to see her reaction, don't you? She's gonna be yelling and screaming, I bet you. Prescription is so light, I forget I've got it. Hello, Mama. Pause or whatever. We were right. We have been banned. And they're saying, no, it wasn't we were yelled at, and we do not appreciate being yelled at when it wasn't our fault. That's what they said. So what you've got this for temporary for a week. They said come and collect the month's worth on Friday, and then you have to find another pharmacy after that. And I said, well, you got that recorded? Yes, but I did say to them, well, we were going to do it anyway. We were going to, because this isn't acceptable.
Well, we're doing well.
So they hate us now. They hate us.
What time are the doctors open?
I don't know. Probably, I think the same time as the pharmacist until. Did you do me a brew?
No, I'm Thursday. I never do that Thursday until I've had my brew.
And I'm just asking, I'll go get some water then, I'm really thirsty.
You're not doing it because I'm getting stressed a bit now.
Do you want me to stay here then? Jeez. It's not a good look, is it?
And I didn't yell at them, actually. Got a recording. You didn't tell them that.
Yes.
And what she said? What did she say?
They just still said they don't appreciate the way you talk to them anyway. Oh, well, the blame. It wasn't about yelling, it was about the blame. That you were blaming them. When apparently they've done everything they can. But I told them, they said it went through ages ago.
I'm trying to take well off them.
Tell them to fuck off.
Why am I picking up a month from them?
Because it went through apparently and they've just got it. But according to them, they've had it for ages.
I've had what for ages?
Your prescriptions.
According to who?
Well, Ali.
So Lee said they've had them for ages.
Yeah. They said that they did everything that they could.
So why haven't we got the prescription then?
I have no idea because I went yesterday and they didn't have it, so we had to go to Asda.
Did you explain all that?
Yes.
Have you got it recorded?
Yes. Not the whole thing, I just realised to do it but I did get, I got the woman and some of Lee. But I didn't get the
I'm
big.
so sorry, they've gone in with you if you know you probably get a load of grief.
I didn't get grief, you got grief. They didn't give me grief, they just told me that they didn't appreciate it, so they were more annoyed at you than me.
Is that why they weren't answering the phone?
Well, I'm presuming so. Forgot to mention that bit. But we've never had a problem getting through to them before, so I'm pretty sure that it was that. Yes. It was great.
So they've given me...
That's a week's supply.
Give me a week's supply, and then after a week they're going to give me the...
Yes. Friday.
Hang on a second. Sorry, lots of catarrh. Right, is this Mary Shaw? Hey, Mary.
Too hot.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've taken what do you call it?
Humbridge, is it?
Umbrage. We've taken umbrage.
Taking offence.
Taking offence at what's happened. Me blaming them. What's going on? Well, they've told my daughter a load of stuff.
A load of rubbish.
They're not happy with the way that, because it's not their fault. They had the well, I don't get this bit because they said they had the prescription ages ago. But when my daughter went, they said they didn't have it twice. Anyway, they've given me 2 days worth, and then they said I'm to come back for the rest of it.
Oh, a week's worth.
So give me a week's worth.
Yeah.
Then what they're going to do? Sorry about that.
Then they said they're giving you a month's supply and I have to call and collect it on Friday.
Then they're going to give me a month's
And then that's
supply,
it.
And then we're not to go there anymore. I have no.
Apparently they've had it for ages.
According to them, they've had this prescription for ages.
Well, we sent it over at 5:20 this afternoon.
No, I meant, I think they're talking about the very original prescription order that we had, which was on the 18th.
Right.
They've had for ages. But when she went to collect it the week after, which is what we always do, because we always do a week in advance, to give everybody time to get things together and everything.
Yeah.
So when she went in, they just said they didn't have it. And then what happened after that, Kirsty? I'm so upset, to be honest. What happened after that? So I also at the same time had put in an order for painkillers, and they said that would be coming on Thursday. But when we've checked up with the doctors said that there's been no orders through at all from the pharmacy. But
Do they request for you?
Yeah.
So they requested a Vino and E45, but they didn't request your repeat prescription.
Yes, according to them, they've had the prescription for ages. But what they've done with that prescription, we don't know.
They just kept saying it was the doctors delaying it or
Just kept
something.
saying it's your fault. But apparently, because I've had a go
Lovely.
at them over it,
Yeah.
they're not happy with me.
It might be worth just mixing, changing policy anyway.
Yeah.
That's what we were going to do, wasn't it?
Problem. You might be able to get someone else to, do your request for you. And do you get deliveries?
Do you know, I was wondering if we could get deliveries.
Because if you go with Boots across the way from on Concord Way, they
Yeah.
do deliveries, and if there's a problem with Boots, they won't ring you and tell you to start it. They'll just come in and start it for you. Do it for the whole time.
Do they? Well, that's alright. So if I ring them...
But we used to have, we were with them before and we used to have lots of problems with them.
Oh.
They were like, oh, we don't have it in, and we had to keep messing about because they never had stuff in we needed. I mean, you got mad at them too. But I yelled at them last
Yeah,
time
they didn't bar me. They didn't bar me.
because I yelled at them.
They're under new management at Boots.
Oh, are they?
For a few months, yeah. Since then, it's
Oh, for a
got
few
a lot
months.
better with
Oh,
them. I
brilliant.
remember
Well, we'll try there then.
yeah.
Yeah, right, so
Okay, Boots then.
when I to pick the months, so apparently they're giving me a month's worth.
Fun.
Yeah, so we issued 28 days worth, which is a month, and that went over today at 5:30 or
Right.
5:30.
So I think that's the one they're talking about that they're going to give us on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, this is fun, isn't it? So we've got a week's worth now,
Oh yeah.
and we've got another 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. And
Sorry.
so we just ring Boots up and arrange it with them, or do you
Yeah,
put them on my list?
If you ring them up, you'll have to arrange with them because they'll have to take all your details. They won't take
All
them.
right. That's fine. That's fine.
Alright.
Oh, good
well,
idea.
I'm sorry about that, but
Sounds
they
funny.
are adamant that it's your fault. And for some reason, because I mean, I didn't shout, by the way. I mean, I've even got a recording so I can prove that I never shouted. I just questioned them on, so you're saying you haven't got them in.
She said,
And they said to me, let me see what was important. First of all, he said, well, you're not on our list. You've never been on our list.
just wait.
So I said, well, of course I'm on your list. We come every month. So then he said, well, our system, we've changed our system, so it must be that fault. Then it was the doctors. And they just kept changing everything. I said, well, you know, I'm not happy about this because you seem to be fluffing over everything because it didn't make... I mean, I was more confused than anything else.
I think it's a really nice review in the first place and looked into what actually went wrong because I can see that we've only requested it and got it issued today because
Exactly.
we requested before then because Georgia requested it this morning and she must have asked someone to sign it.
She did.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't get why they've been so funny about it, why they've been so awkward. We've not given them any problem in all the time we've been with them.
Yeah.
And then suddenly this springs up. I mean, I ended up getting in touch with 111 because I'd run out of the tablets. They issued me, you know, because it was the weekend, they issued me with a couple of days. And then we've gone through this performance today. So you've done everything you're supposed to do, so why are they blaming you?
I don't know. And we don't really deal with well that much. The only time we'll ring them is if Boots don't have something in stock and we're seeing if anywhere close by.
Right,
But most of the
gotcha.
time they don't have it anyway, so we don't really ring them that much.
Right, well, we'll tell Boots and then just take farmers. Oh, well, do we have to wait until they give us the stuff on Friday, then take them off the system, or do you
I
just...
wouldn't think so because we've already sent the electronic, but it might be worth just waiting, you know, just in case.
Yeah,
Because we don't want them saying something else about it. So,
Well, exactly, well, that's the
when
thing,
you
isn't it?
picked it up on Friday,
Yeah,
take the nomination off with us and ring Boots up and tell them to nominate us, see what they can do about deliveries and stuff.
that would be fantastic, because we're just struggling with getting stuff, it's ridiculous. I mean, even when we did that emergency one,
Snap.
the well wouldn't handle the emergency one either. And then when we did it through Asda, we had everything
Stiff
but the blood
neck.
pressure one. So, you know, we were stuck with it.
Horrible.
So I've not had blood pressure tablets for 7 days, so, you know.
Horrible.
So I'm going to take the blood pressure one right now.
You do that, those are the best things to do.
Yeah. So I'm sorry about this, but I just want to...
So of course there was all that stuff with the chemist and prescription problems. Then because it's been raining all weekend, we had a flood out the back and in the basement, and I had to go in the basement because I had taken meter reading because the meter thing's down in the basement. So of course I've got no welly boots or shoes that actually don't have holes in them. So I had to go in the freaking several inch pool in the basement in hole-ridden shoes, my feet getting wet, wading in there. I even put bags on the damn things, and somehow the water still got in. And my foot, always the right one, got wet. So I had to change my socks twice. And now my shoes are all ruined because they're all flooded inside. So I've got no shoes that I can wear in the wet weather now. Oh, what else? Oh yeah, we didn't get to end up going out on Saturday because we were waiting for the damn prescription. My mum didn't think she should be on the road without having had her prescription because she was stressed and bumbling a little bit. And then we had to go out on Sunday, which we don't normally go out on, to get her emergency prescription at Asda. And then and of course there was something missing. So we had to wait until today to get the rest of it, so. Yeah, not the best weekend. Probably not the worst, but not the best. Floods out the back. Yeah?
What's it, Inspira tablet?
What?
Inspira.
What's Inspira?
It's not them things, is it? Just check the name of that one. No, over there. Right over there in a packet. You see it? Have they given me?
Provastatin?
Oh, well, what are Inspira tablets?
I have no idea. Never heard of those.
Right, we better look on it. 25 milligrams.
Disgusting.
25 milligrams. Is that the Oh, you're going to have to help me with this, Kirsty, please.
Right.
Right. Is it boom natinide that I've got to take? That's my blood pressure.
That's right, yeah.
Right. I've got to take them. Right. Well, everything's not here. Oh, it is. Right, okay, let's see. Coffee doggerel, 75 mil. I don't want killing me off.
Probably. Good God. They better not. Or I'll sue them.
Right, I'm going to read them out to you. Can you tick them on the left-hand side?
Yeah.
Just tick them on that side. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got to find out what these things are. Right, so I said lansoprazole.
Not there. Oh, there we go. Right, I'm taking it.
Carbacystine.
I'm taking it.
Telmisartan. Bisoprolol. Oh, bisoprolol, however you call it. Clopidogrel.
Isopro.
And the bumatinide.
Bumatinide. Yeah.
Right, so what's Inspira tablets? 25 milligrams.
I'm looking. Inspira. Pravastatin. Salbutamol. Spirivia. Respimat. Could be that one, I don't know.
What's Respimat?
Have they just changed the name or something?
Well, what's Respimat?
I have no idea.
Is it 25 milligram? You're looking for something that says 25
Oh,
milligram.
2 puffs, so it's a puffer thing.
Yeah, so just look for 25 milligram. What is 25 milligram in that prescription?
Telmisartan.
Just look down the list and tell me what 25 milligram is.
And then we've got eplerenone.
No, so is that 25 milligram?
Yes.
But haven't you ticked that?
I haven't because you didn't mention it.
Right, well in that case it must be that then. What's it called?
So just change the name.
Yeah, what's it called?
Eplerenone.
No, I want the pen.
Right.
How do you spell it? EP.
L. E. R. E. N.
And then none.
None, yes. With an E on the end, yeah.
So it's definitely 25 milligram.
That's what it says.
So shouldn't I check?
Yes.
Oh God, they're going to be sick of me.
Dear.
Oh, they're going to be sick of me, Kirsty.
Shall I go take the dog out now? Let me know what they've said and everything. Here you go. I really want to go. Yes, that's what I thought. I don't. Never mind. It's conked again. Rose. I can't exactly talk when I'm with my mum. She's not to know I live stream. Right, so now I've got to carry a bunch of things outside. It's connecting, so it's reconnecting. So now I've got to wait for it to stop. Success. Oh dear. Well, that's not a good idea. Oh, bloody hell, that's why. Trying to make it so it's flat so it doesn't get wetty. It's been a bloody pain today. Go on, stop it. The hell? You're getting in my way just to sniff something. Yeah, you don't do that. Sit down. You do it on your own time, not mine. Sit down. Oh my God, you're still not sat down. Well, we're not going out until you do. Yes, I only get him to sit so he doesn't run off. Stay. He'll only stay if he's sat down for some reason. Okay. Oh man, I still forgot my bloody... Go to your place for a wee. Go on. No, that way. That way. No, go on, that way. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Ugh. Have a wee. The window's not open so I can yell at the dog. Good boy. Jeez, that was really hard. Yes, and having an accent on top of all that would be fantastic. Yes, that's wonderful, yes. Oh, that's nice, you took the leash off. Okay, maybe I could actually concentrate on live streaming now. Do you think that would be possible? Sit down. So far, I'm yelling at the dog. Go. Can't talk because I was in the room with my mum. It's the only problem, really. The only problem with going in the room with my mum is that I can't talk on live stream. And then I'm kept, you know, talking to her for hours. Don't mind for a short time, but after a while I just kind of want to go. Because, you know, I just want to do something else. I don't know, that was pretty interesting. You think so? It does get boring. Well, you should have heard yelling at the pharmacist. That was interesting. I could give you that. Do you really want their number so you can prank call them? I've got the phone in here. I could give you the number. Let's see. Before you do though, what are you gonna say to them? Oh no. No, sorry, it's wrong phone. My mum has that number on her phone. I don't have it on my one. I'm not going in there to get it. Yes, it's her phone that has the number on. And she's on the phone right now. I forgot I don't have it. I mean, I rang them on this phone. Maybe it's got the number on the recent calls. But you know that'll just mess up the stream. Yeah, she is funny. You haven't seen her at her funniest, though. Oh yeah, that was kind of funny. Hello, have you got me parcel? Is that what you're going to say to them? Have you got my parcel? Tell them you got, yeah, that's a good idea. My mum said she thought this weekend was interesting. Ew. What is that? Let's see if I can remember it off by heart. I think it's 330. But the rest of it I can't remember. That's easy because they're all 330s around here. All these shops start out with 330. So that's easy. I know the takeaway place is 330 20. I think it's 2525, I think. That's not really useful to us right now. That's the curry place. Curry place. So I forgot my water after all. That's useful when I'm thirsty. I mistook him to ask if you'd gotten his partial and you'd be getting teeth in the post. Huh? Ring the second time, can I get it? Yeah, that's funny. We used to prank call people all the time. Me and my cousin and his friends, and I would be like there because they were in the garden, and they would all sit on the wall over there like a bunch of hooligans and just start ringing the taxi place or the pizza place and say that they wanted a taxi or a pizza delivered to one of our neighbours, and then they'd go and we'd watch them from the wall going to people's houses. That was funny. It wasn't me. My cousins did that. It wasn't my idea, but it was kind of funny. What else? There was actually a time with my friend. We decided to do prank calls, and we decided to just ring random numbers. Like just type in just random numbers and say you've won a holiday. And we were practicing our grown-up voices to say you've won a holiday or something. That was funny as well. That was me and my friend. I don't think we sounded very professional, but you never know, there's some grown-ups with squeaky voices, isn't there? Squeaky voices. Squeaky voices. But yeah, I'm with you. I thought at first, just like for a few seconds, I thought he said, have you gotten his parcel? And then I realised that's what he was saying to the prank call, because I had to think for a moment. It's not as warm as it was before the weekend when it was hot. It's cooled down now, which is good. Because I don't like it that much hot. It was a bit much. And having my room, it's 100 degrees. What is that? No, it's nothing. It's okay. It was a joke, yes. It was a joke. It's a joke that, I've done it really bad again, haven't I? You know, I got my eyeliner perfect the last time I did a stream. And this time it's back to being rubbish again. Jesus. So I've been to Morrison's today, and I was trying to do a live stream at Morrison's, but oh god, my eyes gone blurry. I went to Morrison's and I was trying to do a live stream, but it wouldn't work even though they have, Wi-Fi there. But even though it could connect to the Wi-Fi, it didn't really want to live stream, so I didn't end up live streaming there. So it kind of sucks. It would have been interesting if I could have live streamed when I went to the pharmacy. It was quite interesting what they said, so.
And there I'm laughing myself. Oh, she's a nasty lady, tell you what. Oh, the nasty lady told the men off. Ooh, nasty lady.
So now they're crying.
The thing about this is, Kirsty, did I tell Leah? No, I don't remember calling because Lee wasn't even on the phone.
Yeah, he was cowarding. He was doing his
cowarding somewhere in the corner.
Not taking your
How
call.
can you say on the one hand the
Do you want to
things
play?
that they said to me, Kirsty, and even things they said to you, then say to you, well, we've had them for ages. How does that make that the doctor's fault? Anyway.
Yeah, they said that they were withholding it, and then they said they've had it today or something. I don't know.
They told you they were withholding it.
No.
They said
I said the
were
doctors.
withholding it.
Yes.
So where did it come in?
They said.
Where they said they've had it for ages.
I think they just meant today, maybe. Maybe they just meant. I don't know.
No,
I
it
got.
hasn't been today because
I got confused with them.
they didn't send it. Apparently, they didn't send it through to Well. Kirsty, try and focus.
Oh.
They didn't send it through to Well until 5:26. So nothing.
Right.
So what prescription?
You've lost it that way. No.
Which
Right.
prescription was he holding on
That
to
way.
for a long time? But apart from anything else, Kirsty, when you turned up that day, whatever they had, why didn't you get it?
Exactly. They said they didn't have it.
But they also said that they've had it for ages. You can't cope with these kind of things, can you? Now then, what I want you to do, and we've got to put this together, the two of us, because I was in two minds, and I started writing the top of the letter to remind me what I was saying, my opening statement.
Yeah.
But then, when you calm down, you think about it, oh, is it really worth it, right?
Yeah.
But after this, and being barred from there, right? In effect, we're barred.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm definitely sending it through. So we need to put it together.
Okay.
Right? The order of things.
Mhm. I don't have it. You got to go get it.
First, who said what, when, why, and where? Because we've got voice recordings, right?
Yeah. So we're going to definitely do the
More
complaint.
than my voice recording, because that's when I started talking to them. The same with the doctors. They've said it's a shame really that I didn't think about it at the time, and I rang on my normal phone. If it had rang it on the mobile phone, it would have recorded that as well, which is where they say that on their record. I mean, I don't know, because I presume they're part of the NHS, aren't they? So it's on
Oh,
their
no.
system. But nothing's been put in since
Low battery.
whatever date it was that it was put in,
Yeah.
which I haven't got. But I've got proof of everything else, and then what was said in what order when you went to them, and I presume you said that some of it you haven't got a recording, but you might remember what happened when you went in for it, and then take it up from the recording of what was said there. And it's got to all go in.
Okay, that's
Because
fine.
They are nasty, horrible people. How could they do that to us?
They are a bit.
You see, I said to the lady when I was on, and you might have been in the room because I can't remember, but I said to her, but everything's been fine.
It has.
There's been no conflict with them whatsoever, but all I can think of now is this is nearly 4 years down the line. Does this mean now that it can be awkward? I
No.
don't know. I mean,
Not really.
But I was in the kitchen going, no,
Yeah.
did you what? Again, for goodness sake.
Grown men.
Lee couldn't even be bothered coming to the phone.
Yeah, I know.
And I said to the woman also, I said I didn't shout. Did I shout on there? Was I screaming and bawling and shouting? I was assertive.
You were, yeah.
But
You didn't.
how come, this is what I want to know,
Oh, no.
how come there's loads of people can come off like this, bam, 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 because they're upset, right? And they get away with it. And everybody just,
Yeah.
me, bad.
I know.
I'll be bad everywhere. I won't be able to show my head outside.
I know. Yeah, everybody else, when they make a fuss, they get results. Even me.
Yeah.
I've had to go at people before and they've been compliant. Like
Yeah, but I've got the voice.
Ali.
I've got the voice.
You have a scary voice, I will admit. Even when you're just being assertive but not shouting, you still actually sound quite scary. You do.
Oh, so I did that scared enough to
Duh. I don't know.
So I
Yes.
told the nasty men off. Scary way.
Good, he's going to look for it. Good boy.
Watch Looney Tunes then
Yeah.
and things like that. Because they were pretty scary.
Yes.
Oh.
Go find that way.
It's funny. But do you know what, Kirsty?
Yeah.
When people hear the story, because I'm sure they'll tell people, guess who's coming out good?
No, I know. Not you.
Well, that's why I was upset when you said what you said about Boots, Kirsty.
Uh-oh.
Kirsty,
Uh-oh, sorry.
why do you all...
But you didn't know she did say they've changed now. They used to be bad.
You've lost the plot.
Good boy.
Just a minute.
So you lost the plot. It doesn't mean angry.
Doesn't this mean now? Well, hang on a minute, that woman's thinking back there. Wait a minute.
She shouted at everybody.
They've been barred from there from shouting. They've been barred from Boots from shouting.
You've not been
But
back.
you know, whatever.
I know.
Why'd you always let me in it? Couldn't you have just kept...
No. Sorry.
All you had to... You should have stopped at... Everything started off all right, but then you didn't have stuff.
They
and
got
then you
down,
had to
went
keep going,
downhill, yeah. Sorry.
And then you stop. But
You
to
got
start
jumped
saying,
here.
oh, my mum, you start
No, I didn't actually. I said I yelled at them, not you.
Yeah,
You've not
but
got
she
it.
might not heard that. I know, I'm gonna
Maybe she didn't hear any of it. Oh, let's hope that didn't hear anything.
Why can't she just stop it?
So I
at a
just
certain
ruined.
point?
I just ruined everything. I know.
You're on my side, are you? Are you sure you're on my side?
I am, but you know my brain isn't
Right,
that
you
great.
got a theme song, good. I'm gonna give you something now.
Oh no. I just want to say something. Did you see that? I didn't even see. So where the hell did you find it then? How did you not see where it went? I waited until you were over there, for God's sake. You're always losing the damn thing.
Just give him a...
Oh, thank you. That's very
Oh, by the way, I've ordered myself,
kind of you.
well, I think it's going to be all each. I've ordered myself a specific one.
Oh, okay.
Thing is, because I think I may talk to somebody else on the same phone.
Okay.
Anyway, what it is
Is.
because
Ooh.
your, your blood pressures and all that while you sleep,
Oh, right. Yeah.
and it gives you warnings if. And one guy
Sit.
in America,
Yeah.
his life was saved because of it.
Oh, right. Oh, that's good.
Because of the it was so high or low, whichever way round it was.
Yeah.
He decided to go to the hospital to have it checked out,
Oh.
and it was something to do with his enzymes, which can bring on heart attack.
Oh.
So it's a possibility that if he hadn't have gone for this checkup, that
Yeah.
he wouldn't have, he'd have gone through his night's sleep and then just not woke up the next day.
Oh dear, that doesn't
He'd
sound
have had a
nice.
heart attack during the night.
That doesn't sound nice, does it?
So it records all your
Sit.
body.
That's really good. That could save your life.
And I thought, oh, that sounds good to me.
So then he'll be able to predict if you're ever about to have a heart attack again. and then we can.
Well, hopefully never. But you know, if there's anything else wrong with it, probably any
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah.
It will.
You might not be so lucky
You
next
have to
time.
recommend a song at
Go
episode
fetch.
Thursday, probably set it up. But I think it also, I mean, he said it acts like a what Eddie watched it, so it's when it tells the time.
Uh-huh.
But he kept trying to push you and kept thinking, why would anybody want to sit with him? Unless they had a family member. You know, like Grandad.
Yeah. You get one for Grandad, yeah. Could get one for my dad.
That it's one of these, you know, them watches that you get where you can talk on the internet and talk to it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I can't talk to you. I could have talked to you if I got you one. No, because he reckons to get these kind of things over the age of 40. So if it's good, then it's worth getting one.
Go fetch.
You know, not now.
Okay.
Getting another one later on.
Okay.
And if it wasn't surprised when he got your dad one.
Yeah. Because he's falling apart.
I'm not buying him anything expensive.
Not today. Yeah, that's probably best
Put that amount of
effort.
consideration.
Yeah.
That's the word, effort. That much effort.
That piece of hair is always crap.
Don't overdo him, Kirsty. He's got that them bags. It's
Alright then.
Also, it's very late for him eating. We need to get the food on, so he needs to come in now.
Right, okay. Well, you go in, let me do my routine.
I know it's massive.
Mr. What?
Person. I know that you want to take control.
Oh, yeah. Control freak. Miss Control Freak.
Don't stay out there.
I'm not staying out. Go, shoe.
No, because you know this food. No.
I know it takes about 1,000,000 years. I get it.
So you should have put that on anyway.
Yeah, I know. I realise that. Now shoo so I can get it on. Well, you could put it on. So it's 200. Put it on. I'm thirsty as well, so I'm going to... Actually, maybe I should do that video that guy wanted. He's paid me $1 million... Just kidding. He's paid me money to do it, so I better do it. I would do it now, actually, because I'm very thirsty. I think I could just down 6 pints worth of water right now because I'm very thirsty, so I'll probably do that. It's blazing hot here today, no rain in sight. Hot there today. It's not hot now, it's alright. It's alright. I can cope now, but you can go guarantee that next week when we want to go out, you know, well, Thursday, but we'll probably maybe go out again if my mum's up for it. You can go guarantee everything will be perfect, but then it'll heat up or something. Better not, because we've not been able to go out in this heat. So my mum thinks I want her to fuck off so that I can do my control freak stuff with the dog. You mean training? I didn't know that training a dog meant that you're a control freak. Who knew? Alright, so every dog trainer in the world is a control... Oh, right, alright then. Yeah, she, like I say, she doesn't believe in training a dog. Apart from saying sit and stay and whatever, and then giving him a treat. But you know what? The rest of it, all this control freakery, that as she calls it, stops the dog from being boisterous, thinking he can get away with barging through the door or whatever. You should have seen him before I trained him. Running around all over the place, barging past you, barging through doors, jumping all over you, you know. But apparently she doesn't believe in training a dog. So apparently she was quite happy with the way he used to be before I trained him and all my control freak stuff, as she calls it. When he used to run around. He used to run around the entire garden when we were out. He used to go to the gate and bark at dogs. Before then he would barge through doors and he would jump past and go past like really fast and in the small, you know, rooms of the house. Considering this house is big, it's actually not got that much room in it. I need a bigger house. So, yeah, and I try to tell her that training also keeps dogs safe. But no, apparently she only thinks that if it's a service dog should it be trained, not if it's just a pet. But yeah, actually you do have to train a dog and do the control freak stuff, as she calls it. Because what I do is not really training as such, it's more like just things I do to let him know that I am the alpha. Like, I will go through the door first, and he has to stay there where he is until I tell him he can come in, which I'm going to do now. Watch. Come. Sometimes he's slow to react, though. That's not really good. But that seems useless to the untrained eye of the dog training world. That seems useless. Like, why the hell are you getting the dog to stay there? You know. But it's for a reason. It's just to like show him who's in charge and who's the boss, sort of thing. And getting him to wait for stuff. You know, it also teaches him patience and how to sit and stay. It's not really control freakery. It's just to sort of make them behave and know who the boss is. And the boss always has to be the owner. Come on then, drink. Come on. And go on, drink, eat, drink. Have a drink. You won't do it now. Come on. So I'm going to hover over him until he does. He's done something. It's not really much. It's a nightmare. My mum didn't think that his bad behaviours were bad, you see. Come on, stop it. The other thing about the untrained eye in dog training or dog behaviour is that a lot of people don't know bad behaviour when they see it. So sometimes they don't think that certain things are bad. Like my mum, you know, she doesn't really see anything bad in a lot of things that he used to do before I trained him. So she never really, but I was the one who said I don't like him doing that. So I told my mum, I said I'm going to get a dog training book, which I got from a pet shop called Jolly's in Ashton. And it's the best dog training book, so I use that one. And this trainer believes that the human has to be in charge. He also believes, like I've always said, that you should ignore a dog when it's doing something that you don't like it doing, like mithering you, so just ignore it. So he used to mither a lot when we were outside. He didn't mither me, but mither my mum to play with him, and she just wanted to drink her tea. So I kept telling my mum, I said, ignore him. I did. Even before I got this book, before I knew anything about dog training, I was ignoring him. And it turns out that, yeah, you have to ignore a dog when it's doing stuff like that. Obviously, if it's about to choose something, then you say no, leave it, that sort of thing. And if the dog's already done something naughty, then you say the BB word, which is bad boy. And then you show them what they've done, you point to it and whatnot, and you say bad. Because a lot of people believe that you can't tell a dog off after it's already done the deed. Like, so if it's chewed up your house, you know, if it's chewed stuff up and then you come home to it, you can't tell him off. Or if it's peed, you can't tell it off, but actually can. It worked with him. We never caught him in the act. We used to come home and discover that he'd ripped things up or peed in the house, and we used to tell him off for it, and he stopped doing it. So it still worked even though we didn't catch him in the act. So it's a load of bollocks. Dogs are more intelligent than what people give them credit for. So yeah, and I've discovered that. Everybody says you can't tell them off after a while of them doing something. Yeah, you can. We used to do it all the time and it worked. It takes time, obviously, but it did work eventually. He got the message, he got the hint, because we only would tell him off when he'd done the deed and we used to point to it, so yeah, it's kind of obvious. And that's the only thing he could have done between us leaving and coming back. So they do catch on. It's kind of obvious, I mean. I don't know what I'm doing. So it is obvious. No. That's dry, actually. So what was I gonna say? I can't remember. So yeah, so we trained him the basics. Obviously, we trained him to sit, to stay, to lie down, to go in your bed. We trained him to not chew things. The rule was, just because it's on the floor does not mean it's yours. Just because it's in your level of reach doesn't mean it's yours. You to not touch it. So we taught him all of that. And every time he'd pee, we took him outside and say pee there. We'd say bad boy if he peed already, and then send him outside and say pee there. And if he peed outside or pooed, we'd say good boy and give him a treat. So that's how we trained him to not pee inside. So I had to have a lot, but I had to have a lot of clothes ruined though before it got into his head, because we stupidly left stuff in the room where the dog was. So that's really, really intelligent. What we should have done was left stuff that we didn't really mind getting chewed up, and then tell him off if he did so, just to create a teachable moment. But we didn't really think to do that for some reason, because we were daft. Everybody in the world, I think, should always research on how to train a dog and how, dog behavior and everything before getting a dog. But most people just go into it blind, and then maybe try and sort the problem out once it's developed full scale, like we did. We were guilty for that. But I mean, I started training him the other stuff, like how to get out of other bad habits he got into. When he was 8, well, we'd had him 8 years by then. We didn't really get him as a puppy as such. We got him as a grown-up puppy. He was a grown-up puppy when we got him. That means he was a young dog, but he wasn't like a little teeny tiny thing that you could put in your ear, because he was out on the street, roaming the street when they found him. So he had a brother as well. We wished we could keep the brother as well, but the other family wanted him, and then deliberately set him free. So he's back on the street. He's probably dead by now. I don't know what's happened to him, his brother. But they did deliberately lost him because they didn't want him after all. They could have given it to us, but no, they didn't do that. So we lost his brother. So that kind of sucks. Zach, he was called. And he looked like JD, but a ginger version of him. And he's very fluffy. He has like fluffy sides and fluffy ears. He was lovely. I wish I could have him. My hognose, snake and gecko ants, really. The kind of pets you can piss you off. Hi, loving your ears. I'm so glad we're the furry stuff at. Being possessive over food is one of the worst things you can train a dog. Yeah, that's just something. But he was never really food aggressive. He's not really aggressive. He used to be aggressive towards dogs, even though he had Zach and he had Sandy, his dog friends, when he was a pup. But he somehow developed dog aggression somehow, and he was aggressive towards dogs that went past the gate when he was on the inside. But I'm presuming it was a territorial thing, or it was a frustration because he wanted to play with them, but he came across aggressive because he was frustrated. But I've kind of socialised him with dogs now because I've been taking him out for walks, as you know. And he occasionally meets a dog. I'll eat that in a bit. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so I told you the things he used to do that were bad were he used to jump up at you, especially if it was time to go out. So I'd walk out into the room and he'd jump up at you. And then when you went to the door, he would launch himself at the door, so much so that he actually jumped at the door and banged his entire body against it, like as if he was trying to, when people run at the door to break it down, it was like that. He was trying to break it down. So I had to stop him from doing that, obviously. My mum used to let him do it because, in her words, in her mind, her non-sophisticated dog training mind, it was, oh, well, the little dear's so anxious to go out to play and to wee and whatever. So I'm going to allow him to do it. I'm going to allow him to break the door and hurt himself because, oh my gosh, I'm going to allow him to do it because, body slamming, that's it. So I'm pretty sure it hurt him and it wasn't good for the door because we used to have a different door back then. It used to be like a rickety wooden door that was falling apart. And he had to he couldn't close it. So he was ruining the door as well by doing what he did. And also it was really annoying because I'd go to the door and he would just, and it was actually quite annoying for me. So I taught him. Do you want to know how I taught him to stop doing all of that? I didn't really know what to do. I'd heard that in order to stop the dog from jumping up, I had to ignore him. So if he jumped up at me when I went out, I had to ignore him and turn my body away from him. That's what I was taught to do by some training thing. I can't remember what it was. But I found that didn't work. He continued to do it, just jumped on my back instead. And continued to do that every time. So I have told this story before, but I don't know if the same people saw it on the live stream, so I'll tell you now. So what I did was, I stood at the door in the door frame, and before I would come out, I'd tell him to go in his bed. And he did, because we taught him to go in his bed, on command. So I said, go in your bed, which was like in front of me, a little bit further that way, like the fridge is here, and then his bed was like there, and here's the door here that faced the outside door. So I said, go in your bed. So he would, and then I'd take a step down, because we've got steps there, so I'd take a step down into the back room, and then he would get out of his bed, of course, he'd get out of his bed to do his usual jumping at me, and I would go back into the doorway, and I'd say, go in your bed. And I kept doing it as many times as it took for me to do that, for him to get in his bed and stay. I would keep doing that, and I would keep sticking to my guns and coming back in the door frame for 20 times if I had to, and I'd do it for as long. It would be a case of, well, you're not going out until you do what I want you to do, and I'm not coming out into the room. So eventually got the hint, and he would stay in the bed. It took a while, a few attempts each time, and he eventually just stayed in the bed, and I would be able to come into the room, and he couldn't get out of the bed, and I would go get the leash, because another thing he used to do was, before I started training him, I used to open the doors, or my mum would open the doors, and he would just go zooming around the garden, and of course he would zoom down the gate, and sometimes it was open, because some stupid people would leave the gate open, and he'd be outside, out, because he'd be excited, whatever. So we'd actually trained him not to go to the gate, but obviously not very effective. He used to go to the gate, along with running around the garden like his ass was on fire, which was really annoying. So what I started doing was, I would go get the leash, and what I'd do is, I'd go through the door and I'd still get him to stay in the bed. I would go and open the other door, the other gate to outside, and then I'd come back and I'd open the door and let him out, and he couldn't go out until I'd put the leash on him, so I got him to sit there in the doorway, and I'd clip the leash to him, and I would bring him out. I also trained him on the leash. I leash trained him as well. So I got him to the point where he would just, obviously walk by my side. So he walked by my side, and then I would walk him actually out into the garden. And then eventually, I didn't need the leash. Eventually, he actually walked by my side without the leash, so I could take him out into the garden, and he wouldn't run around. And then when I was doing the leash, he'd have to be patient, and he'd have to sit and take the leash off, and then I'd play with him. And then I'd just play with him. And then when I played with him, that's not the end of it. So I'd get him to sit before I flung to the wall. And that's how I trained him to sit. Dead. That's what I'm waiting for. A lot of trainers say you have to wait for the dog to do what you want. I've been trying to do that, but you could wait forever with him. Now you've done it, even though not on your own, I had to tell you to do it. But hey, maybe you'll get the hint one day. There you go. See, my mum, unfortunately, has trained him to mither her. So he will just stand around and wait for me to do whatever, like give him a treat or food. These days now. I'll tell you about the rest of the past and how I started training him. But now the routine is, for me, he has to go in the bed before I'll give him his treat. And before I'll give him his food. So then I'll do all that. I'll give him the food. Then he can come over. He has to sit there before I feed him, as you've seen me do in the past. In past live streams. And then before I'll give him his 3 treats that now we have to give him for some reason, after his food, he has to go in his bed again before I'll do it. But if he mithers me and follows me around, I'm not going to do it. But for my mum, she actually encourages him to follow her around and mither her, so pretty much being demanding, on the dog's part. So it's like she's making sure she does what he wants him to do. I'm going to follow you around until you do what I want you to do, which is give him his treats. I tried to tell my mum that you're encouraging him to mither, and that's not good. She just thinks, oh well, he's helping me. Not sure that's helping. But yeah, helping is like if he went and got your slippers for you or something. Can't see you get a fat dog. Well, he is fat. you've seen him, he's not got, you know how dogs' bellies go inwards, don't you? You've got the like the rib cage and the chest and go inwards. He's not got that. He's like that. That's his chest and belly now. He's a tube now. I don't really mind. It's just that I like, for me personally, I like to only give the dog treats for performing and doing good behaviours. I don't like to give dogs treats just for a routine. So what I've done is I've insisted to my mum that I will give him his 3 treats after his food. Because that way I get him to perform. Because my mum doesn't, like I say, she doesn't believe in training him, so she will just give him treats for absolutely nothing. I mean, it's not nothing, she gets him to go in the bed, at least, but, like, she doesn't go sit, stay. Well, she does stay, but she doesn't do, like, sit, lie down, or up, or whatever. I do all that. These days I've kind of scrapped all that, only because I've had to start trimming his nails. So I've had to do a specific routine for that. So I'll get him to sit near me, not go in his bed, he has to sit. Then I'll give him a treat. Then he go in the bed. I give him a treat for going into the position I need him to be so I can get his paws. It is near the edge of the bed, obviously. And then I will shave his claws, and then I'll give him his last treat. So he still gets 3. But it's for actually a reason and not just for absolutely no reason. The most you should give him is just 1 treat, like food, then 1 treat for going in his bed, but she gives him 3. So I've decided to utilise the 3 treat giving and train him myself. Because she says, oh, he can't go without his 3 treats or he'll get upset. You know, the little spoilt darling, you know. Ha 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 ha. That's the problem, you see. That's why a lot of dogs are bad behaviored, because people just give their dogs treats for no reason. So for all they know, the dog's actually doing something naughty, like maybe jumping up, and they'll just give it a treat, or they might stroke it at the wrong time, you know, give it affection. Like it might jump up, and you don't want it to jump up and they'll stroke it. Or something. But they don't realise that they're instilling bad behaviours in them by doing that, but hey. I am very into dog training and behaviour now, as you can tell. So I got the book that was pretty good, but there's some things in the book that I wouldn't do. There was one thing in the book that it said that I've always known even before I read it in the book, when I was about 16 or 17 or something, when I got my first dog training book. And it's that you're not really supposed to have the dog in bed with you, because apparently they think that they're the same level and rank as you, because they're in the alpha's bedroom, and even better, the alpha's bed. So they think that they're more privileged than they actually are, in a higher rank in the pack than they actually are. Because the alphas are supposed to be the humans, not the dogs. They're not supposed to have a rank as such, except for just subordinate or something. So I said, but I would never have a dog in my bedroom or my bed. Not for that reason, but because it's unhygienic in my... I've always seen dogs as unhygienic. I know it sounds horrible, but I don't know, with cats, I wouldn't mind a cat in my bed, but a dog? I don't know, because they stink, don't they? Even when they've been washed, they still stink. And I don't know, they've been outside and then they've got muddy paws or whatever, or possibly dirt or poo or bugs in their paws, and then they're going on your bed. You know, I would never do that. I think it's unhygienic. Ew. And the shedding, you know, hairs. I would never. And the other thing is, I read an article one time about this woman who passed out and the dog ate her eyes. Her dogs ate her face and her eyes while she was passed out. Well, if a dog could do that while you're passed out, what if they do it while you're asleep? And that kind of freaks me out. So I would never sleep in the same room as a dog. So it's not really the alpha thing for me. But that is a good point, though. So the most I do is probably, if I wanted the dog in the room, which I never would, I'd probably just have it in its own little bed by the side of my bed or something. But that's about it. He's never, you know, he used to sleep out there. That's his bedroom out there, but now he's in here, in the kitchen. He lives in the kitchen. Mainly out the back, because we had cats, so he had to be out the back, and the cats would be in here. We don't have a cat anymore. Can do some stanky stuff too. I don't know, cats are clean to me. I think cats are clean, but a lot of people think cats are dirty. But for me, dogs are dirty, cats are clean. I know, it's weird. I never found cats smelled, even, you know. The breath stank, but they didn't stank. Women should be fat, no. No, men should be fat. Men should be fat. Men should be fat. Yeah. I like me some fat men. Especially ones wearing suits. Because they look like big, fat, powerful businessmen. You know, I don't think I've ever told you this before, guys, but I've always, ever since I was a child, I always associate fat people with being powerful. Like, fat people are powerful. Like, maybe in rank or like, physically strong. I always thought that... I've always thought that people who are fat are more powerful, physically and in status as well. So when I used to be dead skinny when I was a child, and I was obsessed with getting fat because I didn't like being a skinny, scrawny weakling. Yeah. Like I say, I always saw it as weakness to be skinny. And I always was skinny. And I always was weak. When I was skinny, I was dead weak. Yes, I will. Anyway. So yes, I always saw skinny, because skinny is so me associated with starvation, and starvation, when you're starving and not getting enough food, nutrients and everything, you're weak. Which I was, because I wasn't eating a lot. I used to eat like a bird when I was a kid. I used to think I ate lots, but I was eating like a bird, and I was said skinny. And when I got to my teenage years, I started working out, and I was still skinny, and my fault this time. I did get fat when I was about 12, but I lost the weight when I was about 15 because I didn't like how big my boobs had gotten. So I lost weight deliberately to get rid of the boobs. But then I found that I didn't like being skinny again. My boobs looked fantastic, and they were so perky and, you know, not heavy and annoying like they are now. They were so lovely. They were tiny and stuff. So I really liked them. Don't like them anymore. Because unfortunately, I have the wrong body fat distribution. I've seen lots of women that have like, they're really fat, but they've got small boobs and they've got really big hips and ass, and I would really love that, but I haven't got that body type. I've got the massive boob body type, so the bigger and fatter I get, the bigger my boobs are. And my hips and ass aren't likely to catch up that much, because unfortunately I got more of my mum's body genes. Not quite as severe as hers. She's really like, yeah, you know, and then she's got massive boobs and arms, as you saw. So I'm likely to look like her if I get any fatter than this, and that wouldn't really look very nice, I'm afraid. So I started doing squats and shit to get a bigger bum and stuff, but it just hurt my hips, so I can't do that. My hips just recovered now. Anyway, so yeah, so when I was a kid and I lost the weight, I was also working out, you know, to get strong and to get muscles in my arms and stuff. And I found even though I was working out, I was no stronger. My friend at the time, who was fat, and younger than me, by the way, she was 10 times stronger than this scrawny weakling. She could push me over, and if I tried to push her over, it's like she just stood there like a big brick wall. It was hard to push her, but, you know, she could push me right over. She could just go like that and I'd be over. So it proves bigger people are stronger, and also the heavier, so their body mass makes them heavier, so they're stronger, and they can easily bowl someone over. And if you're skinny, you've got less weight, so you're easy to push over and to pick up and carry off, you know. And if someone, you know, grabbed you and, you know, sort of tried to mug you or something, as a skinny person, you'd have no chance. But as a fat person, it would be quite hard for someone to kidnap you or attack you. All you had to do was use your big body to fuck them off, you know. So I always saw fatness as being strong and being more superior, whereas skinny people were weaker and stuff. And there's people in comments yesterday. I watched this video clip that someone sent me of a mafia fight. It was Bronx Tale. You know it? The mafia people were attacking bikers, and there was this one massively fat guy. He was so hot. I loved him. You got to see him for like 2 seconds, and then he didn't show him you again. But he killed one biker with his belly. I mean, that was fantastic. People think that thin people are strong. Nah, not compared to a big fat man. All they have to do is sit on you, and you're dead. You're dead. So how can they say that fat people are weak? That's stupid. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still not very strong now, but I'm pretty sure up against a scrawny muppet, I would be strong. Surely. I'm quite sure to boobs are magnificent, no doubt. What's to boobs are magnificent? I think you can get a breast reduction on it, yes. Gotta work what you got. So I'm muscular, but I only like big girls. That's good. I've been seeing a lot of articles lately about big women who said, I'm big and I'm, you know, proud and I'm happy with my big fat body. These beluga whales, these big fat women. But they say, but I refuse to date fat men. I'll claw your eyes out. That made it piss me off. Yes. So yeah, so now after seeing that little clip, I really want to see that mafia movie now. What is it called? Bronx Tale? Is that what it's called? And I want to see it because it's got big fat men in it. Is the big fat guy the boss as well? Because that would be really hot. I don't know whether he is. Because God forbid we should have a main character that's fat. Especially if we want to have them take their top off or some shit. Ugh, I'd much rather see fat men take their shirts off. Disgusting, we don't want to see thin people. But of course, when I was at Morrison's today, there was some really skinny boys who, of course, had the tops off going into Morrison's. As I've said before, I don't really see many fat men with the tops off anymore in the hot weather. You'd think they would want to take their tops off even more because their fat would keep them hotter. But no, you don't see them anymore. It's quite a shame. There it is. Found it. At last. Nobody wants to answer me about it, really. Oh, we had 8 people and now they're all gone. You are more than welcome to my fatness. You're the blob. No, they're not. They're not. My boobs are magnificent. They're horrible. They were so beautiful when they were small. It's too bad that I can't have small boobs and be fat. Then I would go to town. I'd love to look like that woman I saw out today. An Indian woman in a sari. But even in that sari, you could see she had a really nice big hips and backside, but her boobs were small. That's so perfect. I'd love to look like her. She's so lucky. And she's got a daughter, so her daughter will inherit that too. So, But this is what I gotta work with. That's my mum when she was young. She ain't got much figure. Even less now. I think my grandma was curvy, actually. But she was skinny. My grandma was skinny. But in her youth, she was very curvy and she looked nice. So I've inherited sort of some of her body. But unfortunately, I've inherited my mum's hip dip, narrow hips, barely any butt, and massive gazongas. Massive gazongas, as we call them. I love that word. You know what, having big boobs, it's really hard to find bras that fit. You know, in Asda, you can only get up to a D. And if you do get a D, you have to go up to a 34. You can't do 32, which I'm a 32. You can't get a, you can only get up to a C in a 32. And anything above that, you have to get 34. So I think that's unfair. So getting bras is really hard. I have to buy specialised one from the internet, and then you don't know if they're going to fit. This shit that I'm wearing now is my size, but it's very tight. Which I don't really care because it pushes my boobs in a bit. They still look massive even in this. And I've also got several, well, I've got about, two actually, but I kind of class these bras as them. But I've got two chest binders, you know, for lesbians and trans women to men. And when they've still got their boobs before they transition, they buy the chest flatteners, you know, I've got two of them. The first one I got was amazing because it really pushes your boobs up and in as well. So I bought that when I was going through my phase of wanting to be a boy, so I bought that. But it really stopped. How very dare it. Let's see, what would you say, my browser seller? No one wants to see it. I may suggest to learn that there are those of us who prefer by a formatting woman shape like you are. I've seen that bit. Yeah, they might do, but is Honda a girl or a boy? Honda sounds like a girl's name. Or is it just the name of your bike or something? Or is it your name? I don't really know. Well, the way you've said that makes it sound like you just want to be fat, you don't really care about anything else. It's hard for me. You're a boy. How come I don't get any females watching my streams? I'm not sexist. It would be nice if I had girls watching my stream too. Oh no. Not more men. Where are my girls? How come girls don't like me? So rubbish. I've only ever had male friends. No girls like me. Nightmare. Pity. Ow. I can't remember what I was going to say. Apart from the fact that I really want a cup of tea. Have I got one done yet? Or she's still not done it? Oh, okay. Right, I guess we're sticking with water then. I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh yeah, I think I remember. Oh yes, I remember. I was going to say, as somebody said, somebody just said that they would like a woman like me or something, shape like me or something, far margin. Far margin? And I think what you're trying to say is that pretty much men prefer big boobs, like the majority. I think that's what you mean, right? Do I think that's quite bad, really, because that is most women want big boobs, don't they, as well? And I think it's because men prefer big boobs, so of course women want to be fancied by men, so they get big boobs, and so it's all men's fault as to why, you know, women are all getting big boobs, and therefore in later in life they're getting a lot of back problems and other problems. I don't even get the big deal about big boobs, really. I mean, they get in the way. Like I say, it's hard to find bras that fit. They're heavy, they drag you down. When you don't wear a bra, it's uncomfortable because they're drooping down. They don't even look nice, not in my opinion, unless they're fake. The only time natural boobs look nice is if they're medium or small size, because then they're sort of perky in a nice rounded shape. And the nipples are like facing the sky rather than the ground. So I think they're a lot nicer. Medium, small boobs are nicer. The big ones just ugly, unless, like I say, they've had a boob lift or something, they just look horrible. They just look like granny boobs, in my opinion. I don't actually see the big deal. So somebody tell me. Somebody once said that big boobs mean you're more feminine or something, or you'll be a better mother or something, but I don't see it. I mean, if you want to be more girly, wear fecking dresses or something. You don't need big boobs to be feminine, I mean. To me, having a bigger ass and hips is more feminine than having massive boobs. So I've seen women who are like straight up and down and they've got big boobs, they look like men. Still, like, I don't think that girls don't like you. It's more of a thing in this community to have more dudes watching live streams of girls than girls watch girls. I don't know. I've seen like females who have a lot of female viewers or whatever and stuff. So I don't know. Pronounced hips would indicate motherly qualities. Exactly. I don't know, I think a plump girl or woman with big hips and butt are more motherly than skinny ones. They, to me, symbolise comfort and stuff. Not skinny things with big boobs like everybody seems to want to look like for some god knows what reason. I don't. I must be the exception to the rule. Disgusting. Yes, a plump belly is also lovely. I've been on YouTube for years. It's not happened. And where are my furry Therian viewers at? I want my furry Therian viewers as well. Male or female? Well. Pronounced. I was going to say, bellies and big butts are really nice. Should we recruit girls for your channel? You can do if you want. More of a desire. I don't think the 2000s. I think now hips are more desirable. I think they look nicer than big boobs. Big hips. I don't know, I've always preferred bottom heavy look than top heavy. When you're top heavy, you're kind of like gonna topple over. You look more evened out when you're bigger on bottom. Did I tell you guys I have a suspicion that that's why I have a bad hip? I think it's because my hips are narrow. I don't know if that's true, but it's just like a suspicion I have. Just like a theory that that could be the reason why my hip hurts. Because having narrow hips, my top half is putting more pressure on my hip, whereas if my hips were bigger and more spread out, it would even out the pressure, I guess. I don't know. So there's more pressure on my hip because my hips are more narrow. It's just my suspicion. Have I still not done it? For God's sake, I thought I'd turn that on. Been waiting for nothing. Alright, what should we give the dog? I don't know what I gave him yesterday, so I'm just going to have beef and poultry. It might be the wrong thing. I think I gave him chicken yesterday. I did give him chicken yesterday. And somebody did say that. Because I watched some videos once, because I searched for exercises or ways to reduce my breasts. And in the comments there was actually a lot of women obviously that wanted small boobs. But I remember there was some discussions and some people said that they preferred to have big boobs because it was a massive symbol of femininity. And I thought, no, you just dressing like a girl and looking like a girl, that's feminine enough. You don't have to have massive boobs. In fact, I think that women with smaller boobs are more feminine because the bigger your boobs, the more matronly and older you look. So, and that's my psychology anyway. If we're going by psychology with why people prefer the big boobs and shit, then and thin being thin, then my psychology is the bigger your boobs, the more matronly you look and old. Whereas if you got small boobs, you look like young and cute and like a little girl, you know. So yeah. My psychology, unfortunately, my brain makeup and my psychology makeup is totally different from everybody else in the universe. Don't know where the heck I came from, but definitely not this world. Because I don't think like other people, and I think the way people think it's stupid. When I was a kid growing up, before I wanted to be a boy, when I was like quite young, I used to want to be really feminine, but I never thought about wanting big boobs. I never thought, oh, I want boobs. I was never like anxious to get boobs. I wasn't bothered about that at all. I just was bothered about wearing dresses and having long hair. That was it. Actually, I wanted short hair when I was a kid. But I knew you could probably have short hair and it could still look feminine if it wasn't like uber short. Like maybe to about here. So I wanted curly hair, curly short hair. And I thought that was pretty feminine. And I used to love big sticky out dresses and stuff. I thought that was feminine enough. You keep on the live streams, even when you got some mean comments, you don't stop. Thank you for letting us see some of your everyday life and entertaining us. You're welcome. I like big everything on a woman, but I really like your body as well. It really comes down to that just preference. I pervert apple-shaped women over pear-shaped ones. A blue jay is on head. Don't know what that means. Is that like a Eugene? By the way, yeah, it did actually put me off a little when I got the mean comments. But that was resolved easily. It was all my fault anyway. Apparently. We all know it wasn't. But I shouldn't have said nothing, should I? So you know when I say anything I get penalised for it, so... You know, if I speak out against anyone, I always get penalised, so I shan't do that anymore. Even if they're in the wrong, I shall not penalise anyone about anything. Like I say, I got attacked, so I just retaliated, I defended myself, and I got a mob of haters on my live streams, even though it wasn't really my fault. The girl who started it was whose fault it was, but I got penalised for that. But I best not say anything, because they might all come back again, they might come down on me like a 200 ricks again. So I've got to be this good little girl who has to be quiet and not say anything bad about anyone, even people that are in the wrong. But if I say anything bad about anyone, they're all like, we're going to get you, we're going to send the mob for you. You don't have to stay your tongue just because of them. I know, that's why I'm mocking it right now. When they come again, we'll kick them off. Oh, you guys tried. They still kept coming back. They were like insects. Determined to ignore everything. I better feed the dog.
Now, I want you to... I don't get this thing. This thing. It does the recordings. See, that's all you're given, and I don't know where to look up where the recordings.
Oh,
There's
weird.
no- you think they'd have a drop down thing, but it's a delete button.
Oh, there's got to be something.
What do you
So
think?
just this.
This is what you get.
Press play.
Well, if you
All right,
press play-
GD food.
If you press play, you'll get the outgoing call for 326. Oh, I've done it again, haven't I? I've rang the doctors on my landline. Will you tell me to stop doing that?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So you can get the voice
Now I haven't
recordings.
got that on now.
Eat your food. Go on. Eat your food.
God. Just have a look at this instead. We'll do it, won't we? Good boy, what have you got there? You've got there. I'm only at home, blimey, that's not very chocolate, is it?
It is. It's as soft as heck. It doesn't need to be chopped up.
Hey, look.
I can't get in there. That's not right, is it?
I'm getting all confused with everything now. I thought I remember it when it's happening.
Happening.
What's been said when and where. Well, I'm so annoyed with myself, but bloody calling.
Oh, that's free.
Yeah, good boy. How did you look on?
Good boy. Oh. Remember everything you
Yes, I know that. Fucking hell, Kirsty, that's why I said right, you need treats now.
I thought you said right after you.
No, I didn't. Don't start. What, do it now? I can't do it, I got something like that.
No, he doesn't. He just wants to go on to bed now. Right, go on. Go on. I know she's there and you're not going to take those with you now. Go to bed.
Don't start getting strong.
I'm not.
I've had enough now.
Well, I can't do that.
That's why you know.
Staring at you.
I don't really like shit.
Now look at me. Look at me. Lying for God.
How do you believe go from being a nice person to this?
JD, come here. Sit down.
Hey?
Yeah, much prefer when you're out.
How did you go from being really nice and sympathetic and courageous?
I don't know, well, they probably would have done it.
No, but it's screwed up, haven't they? Well, why would that woman say she's done it? I mean, we had a good old conversation with her. I can't talk to her.
Well, that's it now. That's it now.
Conversation. Stand up. Why I know you. Have a conversation before
horrible. It looks like it's got fruit in it. Looks like it's got raisins in it or something. Sorry about that, I just did it.
When the stuff's coming in.
Sorry.
Yes,
The stuff.
oh.
Oh, Morrison's. Oh, no, that stinks. I understand why the dog doesn't like it.
Yeah, I know that.
Yes or no? Well, they usually say they have a delivery on Monday. Well, it's Monday. His paws don't smell. I'm still very thirsty, I really like it. I've got some new drawings to show, but this live stream is quite long. Maybe I should stop it. I don't like to because I've got 7 viewers. I'm sorry. But I might have to stop it, it's really long. I could always stop it and then start again. I think I will. Okay. So, come back on. I will do this live stream again. Yeah, it's really long. So I'm going to start it again. So I'll see you in a mo. So just look out for the next one.